Well, I'm no longer stuck by the side of the road. I'm in a McDonald's car park, and I'm not alone either. And the car's not alone either, because there's another DIY EV here. Over there, hooking up to the charger, is the bug plug and Jamie. Here for a bit of testing, a bit of a tour of the shed of sheds, and hopefully trying to squeeze some more power out of my car today. But first, some breakfast. So Jamie's obviously come over from Yorkshire, which means he's going to need a charge to get back. But so far, the Instavolt not liking it. Boom! Ah. Oh, that sounds promising. It did something. Or not.
Okay, I've heard a click in the car.
Yeah, running. Oh, there's a light on up there, which there wasn't before.
Stopping.
Oh, alarm. Oh dear. We've made it to the shed. Jamie's here. With much pushing from Jamie because I don't have reverse gear at the moment. So first order of business is to get this thing up on its jack stand again and just try and reconnect that thing properly. Yesterday the RAC man put it together with a cable tie. Good enough to get me into second gear, which I can do most things in now. There is enough torque with a new motor to do second gear from start, but I really could do with reverse again and third so I can go back on a motorway. So yeah, time to get this thing up in the air. So here we are under the car, and as you can see, that's not meant to be loose. That was hanging off yesterday. It goes up there. Oh, I might need to wiggle the gear stick. Can you see that? Sorry, don't put it in yet because we've got to put a washer on it. Anyway, got some washers and a circlip to go on that, and then fingers crossed I should have gears back. Fingers crossed. Right, bit of investigation. This isn't the bit out of my car, but this is the problem. So my gearbox ended up being canted backwards slightly in the mounting of the new motor. I didn't think it would make much difference because it's not canted back that much, but it clearly does. This is a piece I broke removing the gearbox out of the green car, and what the problem is this mounting cup for the gear knob is shifted back about 20 mil, which means that my gear stick is always forward and trying to get into, it's always sort of, you know, stretched that way to try and move the gears around. So I need to use this broken piece to make a shorter one so I can shuffle it back in line again. I mean, the ideal situation would be to move the gearbox forward, but that would require remaking all the engine mounts, and let's be honest, I'm not going to do that. So if we can get the other one out without taking the gearbox out, that would be amazing. I'm not sure we can. A bit of box on the end, bolted through with a hole in it, which will go through to the original gearbox. And we can measure up the size on the other one actually, because we have a spare. So a bit bigger box. It will be bolted in there. That's the plan. So we've cut the linkage down, taken a chunk out, going to stick it back together. Can't weld it, so a bit of bar with a couple of screws through. I think some 6mm ought to do it. I think I've got enough 6mm threaded bar if nothing else to make it work. So just need to mark out and punch a couple of holes in here, and off we go. Don't look too closely. I'm doing this. I'm making this shit
You
up.
need to see the magic. That's a quiet drill.
Yeah, needs a better chuck. Rome Supra S is on my shopping list, as recommended by Dr. Tim Nichols, who's also got this drill. There we go. Let's tidy the ends of that up a little bit, or maybe not. Since this is a bodge, let's leave it bodgy.
It's definitely shorter.
It's definitely shorter. How much did I actually take out in the end? About 25 mil. That might be slightly too much. Well, the original one was 60 mil, I think. Tempted to test that before I screw it all together. Just slightly aware of time. So, not the video I was planning, which was meant to be tuning this thing. Well, instead we've got halfway through a fix for the gearbox. But Jamie needs to charge up before he heads back over the Pennines.
Hopefully charge up.
Fingers crossed, because the first charger didn't work. So we're hoping that a different brand of charger, fast charger, will work. Go and get some lunch at the same time. And yeah, I'll come back tomorrow and try and finish my bodged gearbox fix. Short version of why it doesn't work. Made it too short to start with. Made it too long the second time around. You've missed most of the innuendo today. We just never seem to be recording when all the jokes about could you twiddle my knob came along. But yeah, so third time, Goldilocks, get it right in the middle. Should be just right, should have all my gears working again. But not today. Right, we're at Morrison's. It's a different brand of charger, a Genie Point this time. Jamie's how nervous?
1 to 10, probably up to 11.
Because without this, well, I mean, plan C is try another charger. Plan D is slow charge at my house and Jamie stays over. Which might not make him very popular.
Port that up.
So, nice to see somebody else's charging is still a bit manual as well, albeit not as manual as mine.
Here we go.
Will it work? They're absolute beasts, the ChaDeMo plugs, aren't they?
Yeah. No clunks as of yet. Let's see what the tablet's saying.
Should we have bought some wire? Brought some wire. So we're on our way back to the garage with the hope of jerry-rigging a repair. So in the middle of jerry-rigging a repair to my car, now we need to jerry-rig a repair to Jamie's ChaDeMo system. We don't entirely know what's wrong yet, but a resistor just fell off, which is never a good sign.
It is a prototype model.
So yeah, so fortunately I've got a fair bit of electronics gubbins, a fairly hefty soldering iron. It's not the most subtle thing, but we shall see. And yeah, we'll let you know we get on. So if I've understood rightly, I think Jamie's now basically spoofing ChaDeMo to see if his board responds.
nothing. He never were doing that.
Do you think you just had a bad connection?
It seems not a good idea to just keep hammering at it, but it's working there.
Go and have another go.
Take this with me.
Yeah.
And I can see if it does actually pull it down to 12 volts. Pull it up to 12 volts. Do you do that?
Yeah.
And if not,
Back in the Morrison's car park for attempt 3, ChaDeMo. What do you reckon? Want to make a bet?
no, definitely lose. I don't want to bet against it.
Pray to the god of volts. I know, Thor, Hephaestus, either lightning or mechanical marvels.
You're still saying there's no voltage on that.
Can't be two knackered charge points, surely. So when we tested in the car park with the battery, sticking 12 volts in the right place, all good. Plug in the ChaDeMo connector, nada. Do we go and try the pod point?
Guess so. See what that says now.
Turns out this charger's balked. Even
Possibly.
though, well, we think so. Even though the app says it's fine. Plan C. Off we go. Here we go with attempt number 3.
Owen. Come on, Owen. Please top up your account. Oh, for How do I do that then? Oh, for the love of God. Yes!
Yes!
Well, they're saying 0 kilowatts.
Oh,
Can you celebrate too soon?
8 kilowatts.
We've just come up with 2 knackered chargers then.
16 kilowatts, yeah. I think we've just had 2 knackered chargers. Amazingly, having seen the wiring under there.
That will be tidied up at some point.
The problem was entirely with 2 knackered chargers. Which kind of makes the point that everyone's making about the state of the charging infrastructure. 17 kilowatts.
Work out how to crank it up. Crank it straight up.
Don't break this one. Best laid plans and all, continuing an episode that's not at all what I was planning. Anyway, I've left Jamie charging up so he can get home. I'm back in the unit. I figure I might as well try and finish up this gear linkage. So I'm going to put it out, make a few tweaks, try and get it back in again and see if I can get home in the car. There we go, one shortened shift linkage thing. It's a little bit wobbly. It's not going to come apart, but there's a bit of play in it. So it's not perfect. But I hope it should give me gears to get home. Once I got the linkage, connecting, whatever we want to call it, once I got this basically in the right place so that the stick was sitting in a nice position in neutral, the next bit obviously was to shorten the linkage, actuator, whatever you want to call it. So I've taken a little bit, about a centimetre out of here. That was all we needed in the end. It only needed to be a centimetre shorter. I've taken a centimetre out of here, aligned it, realigned it, welded it back up. Been over a couple of times to make it nice and strong. Really good penetration all the way around. I'm just going to stick a coat of paint on that because obviously it was protected beforehand. And then stick that in and fingers crossed, gears. Well, I've taken it down off jack stands now, so it better be working. Huh. Was when it was in the air. It's a bit of a shove. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. Doesn't sound great. There you go. Oh, that's better. First, second, third, fourth. My knob's fallen off. Fifth. Reverse. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. Phew. Had me worried for a second there. Doesn't sound amazing. A little bit crunchy. But I've got all my gears again. It'll do for now. I have no idea how I'm going to make some sort of narrative out of all that junk. Mucking around with ChaDeMo chargers, crawling around under a car, bit of welding. Anyway, that's that. Finish this episode. A couple of things over here that I brought up today. This is a Lexus IS300H inverter to drive this for the GT. I'm going to buy myself a zombie-verter board, get those hooked up over here with one of the spare battery packs, or at least one of the batteries and one of the spare battery packs for testing, and get that all sorted out. And you'll see I've got here a 3D printed breakout for the connector, because I thought this connector was unobtainium. That was like version 2, it's still not quite right. So I'm actually going to abandon that for now and just buy the connector. I've spoken to my local Toyota dealer. It's about 25 quid for the main body, and about another £5 or so for some of the bits that you need. So it's going to be about 30-35 quid for that connector, which is, you know, not great but doable. It'll be a lot neater. So I'm going to have one connector just going on there for the loom for that. Give it a bit of a clean up as well. It's a bit of a mess. I need to 3D print some parts for this as well. There's a few bits missing off the. I think I paid like 30 quid for this, 30-40 quid for this. So that's all cool. And then this one, I'll switch around here. This, I know it looks like it's been under the sea. This is an Outlander inverter, the rear inverter off an Outlander. As you can tell from the connectors from it, it looks like it was in a fire. But I've had this powered up. Inside, all seems fine. So I've got the connectors out because I've got I have to find it somewhere. I've 3D printed an adapter for here to put on a 2 waterproof screw-on connectors in here. If you need both, I think you need both. I'm going to seal this up. I'm going to clean this case up with a wire brush. If I could take all these out, I would, but I suspect they might be bonded in with heat sink material. But I will have a go at taking that out and then clean all this case up, give it a coat of paint. And then this is plan C for that. So if tuning doesn't give us any more power, I've got a control board coming from Anthony Besançon, who was on DIY EV chat. So we can experiment with this as a drive, see if we get more low down torque, which is the really big issue. Various suggestions on the forum from Johannes and others that play with throt kerr, play with sync advance. Throt kerr is already pretty high. Could maybe turn it up a little bit. Sync advance won't give me any low down grunt. So I think this is plan C. And I've been mucking around under the engine bay and I think it should fit pretty well. So that's it for this video. That's it for this weekend as well. It's Bank Holiday Monday now. I was expecting to shoot about 6 videos this weekend and I've managed 2, I think. You know, breakdowns, lack of motivation from breakdowns, lack of motivation caused by weeks of work not giving me the power I was expecting. So yeah, I'll have to get back here soon basically. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please do like and subscribe and share it around. Bye bye.